on 3 brownies right now.
You're what?
I'm on 3 brownies.
I don't think we should do this on tonight.
Okay, so tonight we're going to do another review of a Netflix comedy special. The special is the new Jerry Seinfeld special, 23 Hours to Kill. So going into this, we had different perceptions of Jerry Seinfeld. I'm kind of a fan of his stand-up comedy, whereas she's never ever heard of his stand-up comedy. And so she only knew him from the show, and she's heard a couple of, like, you know, the
98, 96 stand-up.
She heard a little bit of his old stand-up, but she hadn't heard the whole thing, and she didn't remember any of it. So she had no idea how good that killed. So this is how we're going to do the Netflix comedy reviews, and we're going to break it up into 5 categories. And these are the 5 categories we're going to go. We're going to go with jokes. How good were the jokes overall? Were, you know, the punchlines crisp? Were the tags good? You know, was it a callback to an old joke? If the jokes are popping, then that's big points. Okay. And then there's stories, because there's certain comics that I really like Bert Kreischer, Joey Diaz, and they tell stories. They don't really tell a lot of punchline jokes. So we give a lot more credit for the stories. And if you can fit in jokes and stories, then those are both worth a lot of points. Replayability. How many times could you watch this Netflix special? Are you going to watch it more than once, or is it a one and done? Some Netflix specials are really good, but you can only really watch them one time. Like, once you've heard the trick, you know, then that's what it is. It's like The Sixth Sense. Once you know the gag, once you know that he's already dead, the movie's kind of ruined once you know the plot twist. So, but some are really, all Chappelle shit, rewatchable every time. We've watched every one of them 10 times. Usually when Bert and Tom come out with new ones, we watch those 2 or 3 times, get a good grasp on them. I've watched all their old ones several times as well. Some we watch more than others. Anyway, replayability is a big one. How much would you recommend it? Recommendability. I don't know how, is that a real word? Recommendability. Wait a minute. What's the word?
Recommended.
Wait.
You would recommend.
Recommendability. I think that's the word. Recommendability. Google it. I think it's a word. Anyway, would you recommend it to a friend? And also, this comes with a subcategory of, can this be recommended to everyone, or is there a certain subgroup of your friends that you can recommend it to? Like Jerry Seinfeld, clean comic, you could recommend him to everyone. Bert Kreischer, dirty comic, probably shouldn't recommend him to kids, really old people, easily offended people, you know, things like that. What?
Recommendability.
It's a fucking...
so much a word. They're talking about recommendable.
Recommendable. Okay, there it is. Recommendable. If it's recommendable, that would be its recommendability.
Yeah, but it's not real suitable. Proper English.
I think I knew a word. I think I knew a big word.
Oh my.
Maybe I knew a big word. I don't know. Sometimes I know big words.
Yeah, it's not really recommended.
Okay, so you get points. You can award points for that. Like, obviously, you can't, you know, have kids watching Chappelle because he's not. But I would recommend it to any grown adult. So, you know, the recommendability. And then the overall. The overall of the whole, was the set good? Was the crowd, did they get the right crowd? Did they shoot it well? Some of them have like the little skits in between, like the flashbacks to their childhood or earlier work. This one did. And you know, sometimes that's done well, and sometimes it's not done so well. Kevin Hart does a lot, flashes back to like stuff in Philly, you know, when he was coming up and stuff like that. And he puts that in his stand-up specials in between major, you know, plot shifts in his bits. And so with the overall feel, you know, some people, they pick a bad place. You know, they have the specials, the crowd's dead, or the set was really weird, it didn't fit right. this is shot, it doesn't feel huge, but it's definitely a theater. It feels like a big place. Did it seem like a big place to you?
What?
It's a big theater, right? A couple thousand people.
Yeah,
it felt
looked like it. Yeah,
couple
in New
thousand.
York. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in New York. He's from New York. I didn't pay really
catch it.
close attention at the beginning. I'll edit that in right there. I'll put in what the correct one was. But anyway, and then there's a total. And the total can only be 10 of 10. So each one gets 2 points. You get 2 points on jokes, 2 on stories, 2 on replayability, 2 on recommendability, and 2 for the overall. And you can get 1 or 2 as the score. It's kind of like a boxing round or whatever, and your total at the end. You can get 2 points for each round. If you get 2 in every round, you get a perfect 10. If not, it might be something lower. So tonight we're going to review Jerry Seinfeld, 23 Hours to Kill. It's 2020, just came out. It's number 4. Jerry is number 4 on the Google search. If you just put in Jerry, he's number 4. That's pretty impressive. Number 4 overall. Yeah. Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire was like number 7.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
and Jerry Maguire is a fictional character.
And that just came out on.
No, I mean if you Google search, you just put in Jerry.
Oh yeah.
Like Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers, is like number 2.
Let me Google that.
Have you ever looked up somebody named Jerry before?
No.
Oh, that'll be influenced. Let's see what it is. What's yours?
Okay, so
Jerry
Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, he's number 2 on yours.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Jerry Krause.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
The Jerry Springer Show.
Jerry Springer Show. Jerry Springer.
Jerry Seinfeld Netflix.
There you go. He's number 5 just for this special.
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis again? Jerry Lee Lewis and then the other Jerry Lewis. That's
the
right.
Comedian. And then we have Jerry Garcia and Jerry Rice.
Okay, Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead and Jerry Rice from the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep, and the last one is Jerry Rigged.
Jerry Rigged. Jerry Maguire not even on yours.
No, not on mine.
Crazy. It just depends on what you've searched.
So it's like 8 of them or something like that.
That's nuts. Okay. We looked up some things about him. His name is not Jerry Seinfeld. His name is Jerome Allen Seinfeld. So that was kind of interesting. I would not have guessed a Jerome, not for $1 million. Ever. Never. Little Seinfeld history for me. I'd never watched the show when it was on the air. I only got it when it was in reruns on TBS. I watched as much of it, I think, pretty much all of it. And I've seen the season finale several times. I did watch... Did you watch the series when it was on the air?
I did watch quite a few shows with my mom because she was a big fan.
It's what, Thursday nights?
Oh, I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
I think it was Thursdays at 8. 2005 Comedy Central named him the 12th best stand-up of all time. I don't know what they used for like the criteria for that, but the 12th best is pretty good. Comedy Central. They used to know a lot about comedy. I'm not really super impressed with them.
Gotta keep my leg elevated though.
Oh yeah, because you got the bum knee.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would be looking more at you.
So earlier, let's just say you had a cramped calf, and you had to get up and walk it off. But you had a bum knee, so you were stumbling, and then you stubbed your pinky toe.
Really? Really? You're going to bring that up right now?
So, she's gimpy, and then she's gimpy, and she's super fucking gimpy. And this odds beat. This is beautiful. And I'm trying to feel sympathy in my heart. I'm like, oh my God, I know how each one of those things hurts so much. 3 brownies already. And so the shit was pretty fucking funny to me. I know 3 is too many, and I went over the limit today, and Like this.
I am so glad you got a good laugh.
Listen.
Out of my bad luck.
Can you just hand me the clicker?
Really?
It's
called a remote.
She gets super mad if you call it a clicker. For no reason. Like, no, I know nobody calls it a clicker anymore, but I heard it on a commercial the other day, so I started calling it a clicker. And then she's been getting mad at me for like a week over it. She's like, no, it's a remote. And I'm like, no, will you hand me the clicker?
Seinfeld was also calling
And then Seinfeld started bringing it up in the specials night about clickers, and immediately she just looked at me, just like, shut the fuck up, don't even bring up the clickers. Do you remember 2007, a movie called Bees? It was animated and had the little bees, bees. Oh, yeah. And it had a bee song. Jerry Seinfeld wrote that, and he started it. He was the main bee. It's his voice in the bee.
In the bee, it's called the Bee movie.
Bee, yeah, Bee, yeah, Bees.
We have that movie. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's his movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I knew.
I learned that when I googled him today.
Oh, that was yeah. I forgot about that. I love that movie. That's actually really cute.
And now he has a show called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, where he gets comedians and they drive around in different cars and they go to get coffee. I've only ever watched like clips of that show on YouTube. I've never actually watched the show. I don't even know where I would find it at. Maybe it's on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. I'm 100% sure it's on Netflix because I've seen the preview of it on Netflix. 100%. Guaranteed it's on Netflix. Never mind. I know where it is. You can find Jerry Seinfeld in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee on Netflix streaming now. That's true. That's where it's at, babe. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, so 98, the show ended. No more Seinfeld. Biggest show on TV. Number one show on TV. Everybody loved the show. Ended. A couple months go by. Jerry drops a stand-up special. And the special was, I'm telling you for the last time. Now this one, if you go back and watch it right now, streaming on Netflix, 100% it's on Netflix. I watched that motherfucker on Netflix just the other day. It's on there. Anyway, that special right now holds up to me on a 10 out of 10 on the scale that I'm going to judge this one on today. That special, 10 out of 10. The jokes, the stories, the replayability stands up now, 22 years later. You know, you can recommend it to anybody. He's a clean comic. That's one thing about Jerry Seinfeld. I mean, he goes on Letterman. He doesn't even have to censor. He goes on, Jay Leno, whatever. He doesn't have to censor his shit. So, that's what it is. You can always recommend him to everyone. Some people will like him. Some people won't. The older the crowd, probably the more they like Jerry Seinfeld. You think? Older people is definitely his crew. He's not really for the younger crowd, to tell you the truth.
They don't know. They wouldn't even know who he was. They Google and be like, what? Yeah.
What do you think it is? 35? If you're under 35, you're probably not a Jerry Seinfeld fan. Maybe you got him on the reruns, though. A lot of people got him on the reruns, man. Jerry Seinfeld's still in syndication. And he's still doing shit on Netflix. I don't know. Maybe I don't feel like younger people would get him very much, but we definitely get him. He's from my generation, 90s growing up. That was my late teens into early 20s. I was definitely feeling Jerry the Seinfeld show.
You are not going on about this.
So he has a whole bit. He starts out with a big bit about texting. He gets onto it. When did it start?
Are you recording this right now?
I've been recording for 18 minutes.
Oh my God. Okay.
So he has a whole bit about the texting in there. It's really good. And the best part of it was when he was talking about when did texting start. Because as soon as he said it, he goes, when did it start? And I go, I don't know. And then he goes, because I remember when we didn't have it, and we have it now. But when did it start? And then he goes on the whole bit about, things that go on through texting and stuff like that, and was there messages leading up to it? Because I don't remember. Do you remember what year did we start doing text?
I started doing text. Let's see. Sarah was. I was gonna say probably about 96, 97, maybe 98, 98.
Okay, 98.
And then that's when I started doing it.
I remember I had a pager.
I did too back
in 92. And then I had a flip phone in 96. But I only made calls. And I had the Snake. Because, first I had the Nokia, the coffin phone. Mm. Then I had the flip phone. And then I don't remember texting anybody.
I had the brick phone.
I do not. I do not remember texting anybody, honestly, until
about 98, 99 maybe. I want to say like 98, 99. That's when mine came on my Sprint flip phone.
2003?
Oh, wow.
2004?
Well, you were kind of busy during some of those times too, weren't you?
No, I was working at Country Goat and living good. I had a cell phone, but I never texted anyone. I only ever called.
Back then, it was the pay to text. Like,
right, maybe that's why, yeah.
Every word you did was like a certain amount of cents, and then they changed it to where you could only have certain amount of characters in it, otherwise they would overcharge you, and it was crazy.
Because they don't do that no more. But yet still, motherfuckers type K instead of OK. And he had a bit about this, about how it was. Why do people do that? It's a minuscule amount of time that you save it. And that's exactly right. And I've had a gripe about this. And it's not okay. It's not a big word. You're not shorting boulevard to like BLVD. Okay, I get that. K. Okay. You're only saving one letter.
Or the whole word, which is OKAY.
Okay, still, you're only saving 3. My Uncle Mark was the first one that ever started doing that to me in 2013. He started doing that shit to me, the K. So he had a thing about pictures on cell phones and whether it was a good idea to put a camera. That was a genius bit. I really thought it was.
Making memories.
Right, because you are a picture bully. You're the picture bully. And I'm the dude that goes, no, I didn't have a good time here. I don't really give a fuck if we take a picture of it. And you're the one going, no, everybody hug and get in. I'm like, I don't even like these fucking people. Why are we taking pictures with these people? I don't even fucking like these. That's it. That's the only reason I'm there. That's not for fucking because I like them. I don't like most of those people. I don't. It's the honest truth. They know it too. I just fucking don't like people. Half of the world was TikToked. I fucking realized that. Once I realized that, it was on. I felt a lot better about myself. I have no idea what the fuck I just said because I'm on a lot of brownies.
That didn't make any sense to me.
I don't even know if that made sense. I don't even know if all those words went together.
Honey, that didn't make
sense. Oh, shit.
Sense.
I was flowing, though, huh? I was going, huh?
Oh, yeah. With a lot of new. That was your main word, was new. So, yeah.
Okay. We'll edit that out. We had the bit versus the post office versus email. I'm going to cut that section out, and I'm going to clip that section out and send it to Dean, just so Dean can freak out about that, how bad he talks about the post office. Yeah, as soon as he started talking about the post office being a poorly ran organization by a bunch of people in short, I just thought about Dean immediately. I was like, he would love this so much. Plus, he loved Jerry Seinfeld's show. He loved Seinfeld's show, so that he was a big fan of that anyway. He would have totally dug that fucking post office bit. Best thing the post office can do is he open the letters, read what it says, and email us. That was gold. I love that part. That is what it is. When people are saying it is what it is, he'd rather have someone walk up and just blow hot air in his face That was obviously pre-fucking apocalypse. It's just hot air. It is what it is. It is hot air. I was going to talk to you about one thing, though, that you seem to take personal offense to, the section of the special where he started talking shit about porta potties. And the people coming out of porta potties, don't ever marry anybody who comes out of a porta potty and says, oh, it ain't that bad in there. Don't ever marry those people. Get away from those people. You got really offended and angry and started talking shit under your breath during that whole porta potty section of the special. What was the deal with the porta potty offense?
Well, one, I worked for a porta potty company. Okay, I get that. That was years ago. We're not going into the shit jokes. Don't even. I guess only because I still use them. I know many other people use them. And so it just almost like he seemed kind of real snobbish about that. Like he would be too good to do that. Okay, no, they're not always the most glamorous or anything else type thing. They're not. A lot of them are really gross, disgusting, and make you want to throw up. But they're not always like that. Sometimes if you need to go to the restroom, then sometimes that's what you got to do. They're there. You use them instead of other options. So, I don't know. I just thought it was a little snobbish of that, and that just kind of irritated me.
Can I ask you one little thing, though? Can you remember this one little thing, though? It's a joke. On a comedy show, remember? Remember it was a joke? Remember how he was telling jokes? How everybody exaggerates in jokes? A lot, like... Everybody knows what a real porta potty is. People go in them all the time. We know sometimes they're really disgusting. Sometimes they're not that bad. It's an exaggeration for a joke, though.
I know, but the way he kept emphasizing how nasty and gross and how he just wouldn't do it. It was like, at first it was funny, a little bit.
Okay, as you were saying, they were nasty and gross?
Well, and at the beginning when he started emphasizing about it, it was like, okay, that's, okay, I get that. That's pretty funny. But then he kept going on and on, and it was like...
So you just felt like the bit went too far?
Yeah.
Too long?
Yeah, I just thought it went too far.
You're just shitting into a hole and covered. You didn't like that, huh? Okay. So, how long ago did you work at the porta potty company?
We're not going there.
No, how long ago was that?
A long time ago.
So how long are you loyal to the whole shit potty fucking industry? And it's not just their brand, because he didn't specify like a brand. Like, you're not brand loyal, you're loyal to the whole industry. That's dope. I like that. You standing up for porta potties. Yeah, power to the potty.
Oh my god.
Hey, as a professional,
did you really just say that?
Power to the potty.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, as a professional delivery driver, I use porta potties every fucking day. And I have for several years. It's a fact of life. I one time had an idea to develop an app that had where drivers could ping which porta potties were open and which ones were locked, so that other delivery drivers would know which ones to go to and where the available porta potties were, so that we wouldn't have to guess while we were in the truck. You could just use the, oh, there's my potty right there. Yeah, there's one 2 blocks over, bam, and it says it's unlocked. So go over there. If it's locked, then you ping it on the thing and say it's locked. It was a great idea. I was in development with this guy, and then he flaked out, and we never ended up making it.
And then somebody else made it right after you.
Nobody made the exact same one.
Pretty dang close. I can't remember what it was called, but remember we looked it up, and somebody had snagged it about a few months after you.
Story of my life. $1 million idea. My guy flakes. Another guy makes it. $1 million idea. What do you know? How many times in my life have I done that? Where I didn't pull the trigger on something, and then somebody else did it, and it ended up being great.
Quite a few.
That sucks. I gotta be more proactive. Okay, what else?
Quit eating brownies, and you might.
Okay, hold on. Oh. So the next good bit was the I had a bucket list, and then I took one letter, I changed it to an F, and then I didn't have no more list. What do you think about the bucket list to the fuck it list?
Right on.
That was a pretty good one,
Yeah.
And he pulled that off without actually having to say the F word. Kept it clean. Oh. The other good bit I liked was the married guy blowing on the pinwheel. When he was driving on the truck with the TNT, and he's like, and the single guy's just standing there like that, but the married guy's down a rocky road with TNT. That was pretty awesome.
That was good.
Yeah, he had that down pretty good. He's like, married guys is dead, and single guys is like, oh, I got a girlfriend. He's like, rookie. You don't even know. You're not even playing in the big leagues. You're in the minors. The whole bit, the marriage is a game show. That one was pretty good. And that was when he kept bringing up the clicker, and you kept getting mad about him saying it was a fucking clicker.
It's not a clicker, it's a remote.
He's like, click, click, click. It's the clicker. She was having a spasm.
I was not.
Oh, it was awesome. And then the part about the dual climate control in the vehicles. That was completely relatable to our relationship and every relationship I've ever been in my entire life with every woman I've ever known. He has nailed it. Like, he had that nailed. Or he had it nailed.
He was right on with that one.
Oh, yeah. When he had the thing where he was talking about the lady, he's like, the air is on me. You have literally said those words so many times.
I've said it in the car, and I've said it when we've been at home in our room, since you have to have the fan blowing right on your face, and I cannot have that, so I can't even.
What kind of maniac sleeps without a fan?
I sleep with the fan, but I just have it turned a different way. I can't have it blowing in my face like you. I can't.
That's where I need the fucking air. Right here. Where the air goes in. That's where I need the cold air.
That's why I have a pillow that blocks that. In our bed. She
says it in the car every time. She's like, the air is on me. I have the air. The air temperature. Literally 3-4 degrees difference. Mine's on 68. Hers is on 72. Some of my air got on her and adjusted the temperature. This woman has birthed 4 children. She had neck and spinal surgery. She's been through all kinds of shit in her lifetime. She can't handle 68-degree air getting on her fucking leg.
No, in my face.
Anywhere. The air is on me. Your air is getting... Jesus, right here. This is the move right here. Your air is getting on my arm. Can you turn your vent? No. That's dead on. I swear to fuck God. I swear to God. That is the... Will you turn your vent? Your air is getting on me. Will you turn your vent more towards you?
No, it's on the face.
No, that's it right there.
Shut up, it's the face. I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
Oh, shit, my co-host has left the building.
No.
Okay. And then,
oh my God, you're horrible. Wow.
And then the whole part about the, don't say I hate you. You can say anything else, but don't tell the person you're married to that you hate them. Because I hate you. That part was pretty good. So at the end of the show... The closing your bit that was the most funny to me was about the movie theater trash. When he's saying the new thing up now is to pick up your movie theater trash. And he's like, no, I'm not picking it up. I'm the one that threw it down there. Why would I pick it up? That's what I pay you to do. And that nailed so on my exact attitude. With movie theater trash. They overcharged me for everything. I paid $11 for that tub of popcorn. You can pick up the seeds in the last little bit that's left in the tub. I'm sorry.
$6 for just one small soda.
Sorry. You got to pick that cup out of the cup holder and put it into the fucking trash bin. I'm job security. for the people who clean the fucking theaters.
And then the tickets.
If everyone picked up their own garbage, those 2 guys would be out of work.
Well, and then look at the price of the tickets. And that's not even including what kind of one you're looking for. 3D. What's that one with everything?
Oh, yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
with the shaky, with the box.
Yeah, where you have the
What's
motion, you have everything, and the deluxe.
D-box.
Yeah, D-box.
D-box.
And then you have
Has
just
anybody,
the regular.
have you been in the D-box? The D-box rocks, though. We did go to the one that was... No, you didn't go with us that time, did you? Did you go with me and Brandon to the D-box?
I think it was you, Brandon, and Braden that went.
Me, Brandon, and Braden went to the D-box. We watched one of the action movies. Maybe it was a Jurassic Park movie. It was something really dope with a ton of action, though. And there was a chase scene, and they were on a rickety road, and in the D-box thing, the whole fucking thing shakes with you and shit. It's pretty fucking gnarly. I don't know if it's worth the extra $7, but it is pretty fucking gnarly. I'll give him that. Oh. And then he was talking about being in the public bathrooms and walking by and how they don't have the corners aren't conjoining enough. Oh God, so sometimes, even if you're just minding your business and you walk by, you'll see someone's eye peeking out to the corner and you and that person will make eye contact. Because the only thing showing through the crack is their eye, but you can see their eye and they can see your eye, and you're making direct eye contact with them, and they're like a deer in a headlight on the shitter, and you're trying not to even look, but you've already made the eye contact. So one of you has to break the eye contact, and it's only for a second that you're actually making the eye contact, but it seems like forever.
Us females. That happens a lot in the female bathroom. I can tell you now, we look like, oh, okay. We keep on walking, go about our business. Everybody keeps doing their thing. As soon as each one comes out of the stalls, we just stand there in line, wait to wash our hands, like, okay, have a good evening, and that's about it.
So the last thing is that we were talking about the clean comics versus the dirty comics afterwards. You actually mentioned immediately after it was over that you really liked the fact that it was clean throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, he didn't drop the F-bomb all the time, or, the bitch word, or, this and that, the dick and all this stuff. It was actually kind of refreshing, kind of nice.
A lot different than what we usually listen to.
Yeah, and I'm not saying anything about the other comics, because the way that they present their jokes or their stories are actually pretty damn funny, because that those are the words that go with it. Right. But with him, the way he did it and he kept it going, I actually enjoyed that. It was nice actually hearing that. I don't know. I liked it.
Okay.
I like both, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like them both, but that one I did. It was refreshing because we haven't heard that in a while from anybody.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a different change for sure. Mm-hmm. I don't mind it that it's clean, but it's not something that's extra appealing to me. As far as dirty comics, are usually the guys that I prefer more. Not necessarily extra dirty, but like Chappelle will tell shit jokes. He tells dick jokes. He talks about I'll kick you in the pussy.
That's because you're a dirty man. That's why you're a dirty old bald man.
Okay,
that's why.
Right, but I do appreciate the Jerry Seinfeld that he could keep it clean and still be funny throughout the whole thing. All right, so shall we tally it up? Let's give this bad boy a score. So jokes.
What about them?
Were the jokes? How do you give them a joke? We're gonna rate a 1 or a 2 on the jokes.
2.
Okay, so we got a 2 on the jokes. 2 on the jokes.
At least for me.
No, 2 for me as well. 2 for you. Okay. What about stories?
A 1.
1 for the stories. I'm going to give him 2. He was talking stories about his kids. He told us stories about his life and what it was like now.
You're right, because he went into the married stuff with him and his wife and everything. Actually, yeah, 2.
Yeah, the second half of the story when he said, okay, I'll give you the numbers to start. Let me talk about me. First half was mostly jokes. The second half was mostly story about him.
I'm going to say 2. Okay. Yeah, I'll say 2.
Me as well. I was giving him a 2 on that because of Exactly that. He kind of let us know what his life has been like since the Seinfeld show, since the last time we really seen him.
And before he got married. And
right.
then...
Right, exactly. So I
got
definitely
married
give him
later
that.
on.
So, replayability. Would you watch it again?
Yes.
Okay. So, how long before you would say you would be ready to watch that again?
A day or two?
A couple days. Okay. I would say if 3 months had went by and I clicked back on it, I could watch the whole thing through again.
Okay.
I give it 3 months, so that's we each give that one. We'll give that a 2 out of 2 because we both agreed that it is replayable. Just the timing is a little bit different, but yeah, you gave it almost an instant replay. All right. How would you recommend it to a friend?
I would highly recommend it.
So a 2 on the recommend?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give it a 2 as well, also because he gets... See, it would only be a 1 by itself if it was anybody else. Because of this. His comedy, I feel like, is age-specific. So I couldn't recommend it to anyone under 35.
Possibly 35.
30, 35-ish. Because they wouldn't get it. They didn't watch the show. They didn't get that era. They didn't grow up when he was an influence. So I don't think they would find him as funny as I do. Because some of his stuff is funny because of the brand. Because if you know him and you're familiar with his brand, then the joke
would make more sense.
Makes sense, and it's funny instantly to you. If you're not familiar with him, then no. And if you're younger, I don't feel like maybe you're not up on the Seinfeld brand. It would have been that one. Except for, you can recommend him to any age because he's clean. He's a clean comic. You can recommend it to anybody. Old people can watch him. Senior citizens. Little kids, if you can drag them into watching it. They probably won't get very much of it, but there's not going to be anything offensive in there for them. So, 2 for me on the recommend. And he is funny. So, I would recommend him to anybody that's a grown adult. So, 2 for 2 on that. All right. Overall, the set going back to New York, where he started in the 70s. And then it wasn't a huge stadium. It was more of a theater, a couple thousand people. That part felt good to me. The scene behind him, it was real plain. It wasn't no overwhelming stuff to it.
You could focus just on him.
Right. The intro with him jumping out of the helicopter was kind of crazy.
That was good.
Because,
Tell me about the end of it.
The very beginning of it, the first thing she goes is, too bad he didn't really do that, right? This is what she says, right? Because it looked crazy.
It did.
It looked green screen. It did. I agreed. But I wasn't going to pick a bone about it. But for some reason, right away, she was going to pick a bone over the fact that Jerry Seinfeld didn't jump out of a fucking actual helicopter into the actual fucking river, right? From way up in the air. She picked a bone with that for the beginning of the special.
It bothered me.
It bothered her.
Yeah, it was
okay.
It didn't look right.
Okay, so I feel like this tainted her vision of the entire special because she was disgruntled about this fucking detail from the beginning of it, right? Vindication for Jerry Seinfeld comes at the end of the fucking special afterwards. If you stay and watch after the credits, it shows on the fucking extras him practicing jumping off of a little high dive. And we're like, oh, wow, he really did it off of a high dive. And then they put it on the green screen. And then it shows him actually practicing jumping out of the fucking helicopter. He really did do it.
But at the beginning, it really looked...
It kind of did look like
it. Looked really bad as far as, like, the green screen. It really didn't look like he jumped out of the helicopter. It looked so...
he did jump out of the fucking...
But he did.
He's 65 years old. He jumped out of the... That was my defense.
Was awesome.
At the beginning when she said, it would have been cooler if he would have really did it. And I was like, dude, he's 65 years old. He can't jump out of a fucking helicopter.
I said it still would have been cool, though. Either way.
He fucking did it.
So... Okay.
Kudos, Jerry Seinfeld. So overall, and so that alone is a 2 for 2 on the overall above everything else. Just for jumping out of the fucking helicopter. You're an OG for that.
Yep.
2 for 2. So, what I got here is Two, 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 two. Two's all the way across. New Jerry Seinfeld special. 23 hours to kill. 10 for 10.
Must watch.
10 for 10 must watch. Entertaining. You won't regret your little hour of your life you just spent doing that. We've watched some fucking shitty things on TV, and this isn't one of them. This was a good pick today. Jerry knocked it out of the park. Can't wait to see what he does later.
Exactly.
So, we're out of here. Say goodnight, show.
Good night.